The 68th Congress of the Liga Medicorum Homeopathica Internationalis in the capital of Ecuador, Quito. Many great homeopathic doctors came here. We met at the Congress with Dr. Marcelo Candegabe from Argentina. He is a homeopath in the second generation. He is professor of homeopathic doctrine, philosophy and history at the Argentinian Medical Homeopathic School Tomás Pablo Pasquero. And Marcelo Candegabe was a direct student of this great homeopath. Dr. Candegabe kindly agreed to answer a few of my questions. Marcelo, why did you decide to become a homeopathic doctor?
Maybe for me it was not the same as with other doctors who needed to decide between allopathy or homeopathy. I began to study medicine in order to be a homeopath. And this made it very difficult for me, allopathy. I had long years of suffering inside universities because I was going to be a homeopath. Anyway, many children of sons and daughters of homeopaths have not followed homeopathy. In one moment of my life, I believed that the human conditions that I had, or I thought I had, I could develop them through homeopathy. That is why I studied first at the medicine university in order to study homeopathy afterwards. And this is important for me because homeopathy makes it possible for me to develop something where I can put into practice human values. Maybe that is the reason why I choose homeopathy.
Thank you. Marcelo, can you please tell what has been revealed to you over the years of your medical homeopathic practice?
Maybe there were not only the homeopathic learning fields which opened for me, but also philosophical and therapeutical fields that had nothing to do with homeopathy also opened for me at the time. Since very early, I began to study some philosophical books. I studied quantum physics. I studied Swedenborg. Indefinite homeopathy made it be possible for me to study other fields which I would not have suspected to be able to study when I was studying only Kant. I read in Kant's philosophy, he said that he had learned as much from Hahnemann as from Swedenborg, and that made me go into Swedenborg's universe. Swedenborg is this sweet mystic man who was a big influence during the 19th century. In the same way, I was immediately got passion for the concepts of quantum physics. And these concepts helped also to establish some items in homeopathy. Homeopathy made it possible for me to be opened into the great universal hologram, because homeopathy is part of a universal hologram. It doesn't only speak of some concrete and practical reality, but it also speaks of substantial things. To get along working with homeopathy made me enthusiastic about a lot of subjects. That is from the personal point of view. But homeopathy also gave to me the possibility that relationship between patient and doctor should have some sense. As my teacher Pasquero said, he was a big teacher for the homeopathic Argentine school. I think he was one of the big teachers in all the world and was the biggest teacher in Argentina. And he talked about putting into practice an homeopathic treatment based on the relationship between the patient and the doctor. This Pasquero referred to as empathy, in which we could realize what should we heal in certain person deeply in order to be sure that this person was healing, not only in the physical aspects but also in mental and emotional aspects. In order to understand what is that which we want to heal in other person, first of all, we should be able to get to know ourselves. So in this way, along homeopathy, you also understand that it is necessary to open oneself to personal realities and aspects. The deeper I know myself, the deeper I can understand the patient, and so using homeopathical techniques, of course, I can understand what is worthy to be cured in this person who is my patient. So homeopathy, at least for me, was a door that led me to other levels and other subjects of knowledge. Very far from being only diagnosis and treatment technique. I could tell you that maybe this is what homeopathy has given to me most. I feel continually young. I feel a beginner always, as much as I continue studying homeopathy. We tried at our school, to go as deep as possible inside the remedy, and we chose arnica for this purpose. We discovered that if we want, we could go deeper and deeper and deeper inside a remedy and find new totalizing realities. So homeopathy puts us in. Homeopathy puts us in the way of knowledge.
Gracias, Marcelo. Thank you, Marcelo. Another question. What do you think homeopathy can give to humanity?
I could say that your question includes two questions into one. We could say, what has homeopathy to give to humanity? And also we could ask, what can humanity do in order to help homeopathy to develop? Because homeopathy is essentially humanistic, and it needs to develop in a world that needs to be more and more humanitarian in order to allow homeopathy to develop. It's like a double relationship. As the human being develops his conscience, then he will understand homeopathy more and more. Homeopathy is a science which has not yet been totally understood, because I believe that homeopathy acts dimensionally in very, very deep levels. We don't even know what an homeopathic remedy is. Hahnemann called for something that we do not even know if it is an energy or an information. We only know that we are prescribing from a place that we don't have very clear from where we are prescribing or giving a remedy. As homeopaths, we are used to treat our patients with homeopathic remedies, but we do not really know what the remedy is. We do not know what vital energy is. What homeopathy can give to humanity in a more developed context what homeopathy can give is ability to read the reality deeper and deeper. And as homeopaths, we need to relax. Because the time shall come when homeopathy shall include totality. But as I am sure that the human being has a promising future, as I am sure that humanity is going to develop towards spirituality, I'm sure that homeopathy is going to have more room to be able to grow. We should be tranquil and get to feel that we are just a note, and these notes compose the melody, which is homeopathy. We are not the music, we are just the notes through which the homeopathic music is played. And it is very possible that in the future, homeopathy shall be one of the most complete sciences of medicine, if not the most complete. That is what I believe.
Thanks, Marcelo. And the last question for you. Do you have personal view, insights, discoveries in homeopathy?
It is better that I talk about what I could sum up to homeopathy and not talk only about my own point of view. Because individual or subjective points of view are always relative. Hahnemann discovered a kind of code of relationship between the substances and the ill human being, and the symptoms lead us to the remedies. And now, yes, from my own point of view, I think that this shall not be the only code existing between the substances and the patients. I think that other codes are needed because nowadays we have not so many remedies. We are using actually around 1,500 or 2,000 remedies. But the universe is formed by more than 50 millions of substances that could be used. And thinking about this enormous diversity of substances that maybe are going to be studied and used, it's impossible for our minds to learn all these substances and to include all these substances with this code. That is why I have been working very much with a new methodology, which is quite different. These methods makes it possible that substance and the patient can meet, but it is found through a mathematical relationship. It is an equation, and on one hand there is the mathematical evaluation of the patient and mathematics evaluations of the remedy on one hand and mathematical evaluation of the patient on the other hand. Through objective data. We are working with a team of people who are accompanying me in this. We have some success that we had not thought about in some cases, and in others we don't have success. But it is an open path towards encounter between the substance and the patient. I have been dedicated to homeopathic doctrine since the last 40 years, and I know that doctrine is safe. It doesn't matter what method we use. It doesn't matter which technique do we use to reach the remedy. Doctrine has laws, the law of similitude, the law of healing, and if we pay attention to these laws, we are going to be able to make this relation possible. What I could say, since my own point of view respecting homeopathy, is that we should not be afraid. We need to be optimists. We need to adequate our modern thought to Hahnemann's thought. And as we need to be tranquil because as homeopathy is a truth, it is always going to emerge no matter what conflicts or problems it has around. That is what I believe, and that is my point of view. So I thank you very much, and I hope that I have been clear in my exposition. And I want to greet everyone who is looking now at us and send our greetings from Argentina and from the Homeopathic Pasquero School. And these meetings are very welcome.
Muchas gracias, Marcelo. Thanks a lot, Marcelo.